The Nintendo Switch Pro is coming whether you like it or not, and a brand new article gives more credence to a 2021 launch, providing new information, and man, this system sounds pretty darn cool and kind of pricey. Plus, Nintendo is losing a Switch exclusive, but they've got a really good sale, a rare sale, a nice discount if you're looking to pick up new hardware. And what the heck happened to the Indie World Direct? Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. We made it halfway through the week. Things are heating up. We're getting closer to Monster Hunter Rise. That means closer to new Pokemon Snap, and eventually that means closer to Zelda Skyward Sword HD and the holiday lineup, which right now, big question mark. But more and more, with all of these stories, all of this information, all of these rumors and reports, that picture gets clearer. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Smash that like button to show some love, and let me know in the comments down below anything you're thinking today. Yes, we're opening the doors and the gateways and the can of worms, and this might not be a good move, but hey, it's the move we're making. We got the poll at the end of the video, plus the new Switch Pro information. But first, I want to touch on a couple quick hitters. Indie World Direct. I really thought it was happening this week, and so did a lot of other people and players, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It would have probably been announced yesterday or today, and that was no dice. So I'm expecting that we get Indie World next week because they've always fallen in March. They like to surround a big convention like a PAX or a GDC. We got GDC really soon. Sony and PlayStation did indie stuff this morning, so I'm expecting Nintendo to do indie stuff next week. I thought they'd want to space it out from Monster Hunter Rise, but maybe they don't view the two as really overlapping in any way. I still fully believe an Indie World presentation is coming soon with some awesome stealth drops. It just didn't happen this week. But what did happen this week is that Nintendo, we wave goodbye to Octopath Traveler. So long, farewell, Japanese RPG. We are getting that new one at some point next year, but right now, Octopath Traveler is being whisked away by Microsoft. I guess it's fair. Microsoft gave us some really good games. Let's give them one. Octopath Traveler is hitting Game Pass on March 25th, and it's kind of funny because people are like, wow, Octopath was so good. And it was. Some people are sad to see Octopath go, and even though it's a Square Enix joint, if we think of it as a trade, we got Cuphead and Ori and Minecraft. They get Octopath in terms of exclusive swaps. I'm down with that. I'm also down with this delicious deal over on Amazon. Those Switch Lite colors are fantastically yummy, and you can grab a coral, a yellow, a turquoise, or a gray for $20 off. They got a $20 coupon right now, so that brings the system down to $179.99, which is the best price I've ever seen for a Switch Lite and the best price I've ever seen for a Nintendo Switch. There's no strings attached, you don't have to buy anything extra. It's just straight 20 bucks off of the code. So head over to Amazon, I'll put a link in the description if you are interested in grabbing a Switch, another Switch, your first Switch, or you just really like the colors of the Switch Lite and you're an obsessive Nintendo collector like me. We got a poll about that at the end of the video. But first, Switch Pro, okay? So we've had a lot of stuff lately about Switch Pro, and it's building this narrative that, hey, this new system's coming, but people are unsure of the specs, they're unsure of when it's happening, but they know it's coming. And I'm telling you, my friends, heed my words of wisdom. This is coming. You cannot stop it. It's going to happen. All right, and today's article is really interesting because it comes from Bloomberg's terminal. Now that means it is a special part of Bloomberg's site that's only accessible to like big time users, right? We're talking about big companies or agencies that want to track all the inner workings of certain industries. And so this article is yet available on the main site, but we know all the details. And the details say, boom, Switch Pro, they believe, is launching this holiday season. They're doubling down on a 2021 launch for a system that will cost more. Now, we've talked about the price lately and wondered, would it just come in and slot at $300? Would they go all the way to $400? Would they go to $350? Well, they say based on their hardware projections and how much money they're expecting to bring in, this thing has to cost more. And I think it firmly falls between the $349 and the $399 price point. Either of those feel fair, although I'd so prefer Nintendo to hit $350 so they can still say, hey, we're cheaper than the PS4 digital, we're cheaper obviously than the Series X, we may not be cheaper than the Series S, but do you really want that thing anyways? Now, to give you all the details, they did say that the PlayStation 4 Pro sold 2 million units during its launch window, and they expect the Switch Pro to sell more. And then getting a bit speculative, they said that they think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is tied to the launch, and that they have a nice, healthy lineup of games to help support this new iterative system. So there's been all this debate back and forth of like, is it just a new version of the Switch? Is it a Switch 2? Is it a Switch Pro? And we keep hammering home the same point. Or rather, these insiders, these analysts, these reporters keep hammering home the same point. That it is a Switch Pro, meaning it is a better Switch, but not a Switch 2. And that it's going to have some enhanced features. It's going to have some more elite type features, but it's not going to be a new system, although it will have exclusive third-party games. That's the talk around the town, and I think that's totally fine. These would be games that you would not be able to play on the Switch if there was no Switch Pro, so it's nothing lost, it's only something gained. And it's hard for me to be mad about a third-party Switch Pro exclusive if it could only work on the Switch Pro. So the alternative is nobody gets it, or some Switch Pro users get it. And they say that Nintendo, they believe, will not be replacing the Switch with the Switch Pro until they're able to get the Switch Pro down to the $300 price point. So they fully expect to have this 3-pillar system, which is something we've heard for years now. Way back. You can track SwitchForce videos years back, and you can see we discussed rumors and reports about a tri-pillar system, where Nintendo would have a Switch Lite for portable only, an OG Switch that did it all, and then a Switch Pro that focused on dock play. Now, the Switch Pro is going to still be a Switch. It's still going to use Joy-Con. It's still going to actually switch, but there is still that emphasis on dock play because that's where you get the 4K upscaling, and that's where you get sort of the best experience. Although the OLED screen sounds really nice, and we continue to see reports saying, hey, they're using an OLED screen. It's going to have a prettier screen. It's going to have a better screen. Don't worry about the resolution. It's going to look just dandy. The last thing the article mentions is the performance of this box, and they're kind of unsure of where it's going to fall, what processor and how that's all going to play out, but they do expect it to be between a PS4 and a PS4 Pro, and I say that is amazing. I love the fact that you can take the Switch with you, and having a PS4 Pro level system on the go, I mean, it's still winter over here, but it's getting hot. That is a sexy thought, okay, to be able to take big third-party games that do run on next-gen consoles and also now can run on the Switch Pro, to be able to take the latest and greatest from Nintendo and see Breath of the Wild 2 purr on this system, all right? Pet the kitty. See Mario Kart 9 rock and roll. See Splatoon 3 look bigger and better than ever. I am all for it. And everybody keeps hinting at a really big fall lineup, so even if Breath of the Wild 2 does slip into 2022, I fully expect Nintendo to really deliver the goods. Now, I've seen a couple interesting arguments as of late for why Breath of the Wild 2 won't fall. One being they did recently predict and say that Nintendo has been telling retailers and executives like, hey, we got a lot coming, 250 million pieces of software, record-setting year. We touched on that earlier in the week. And that would indicate some heavy hitters, some big kahunas, some whales swimming straight into the Switch cartridge slot. But I've also been reading about why would Nintendo launch Pokemon Legends and Breath of the Wild 2 in the same quarter? They're both open world games, they're both big games, and they're both must-own type titles for Nintendo fans. So really, do you want Link and Pokemon going head to head? And the answer is probably not. Now, could either of them get pushed? Yes, but remember, Pokemon Legends got a very specific early 2022 date. And it was made more clear in the Japanese presentation, but they really did say early 2022. And Breath of the Wild 2 at this point has no date. Therefore, to me, Breath of the Wild 2 needs to slot in Christmas 2021, or more like April, May 2022. And if the plan is to launch the Switch Pro at the end of this year, I think they would want to get Breath of the Wild 2 out this year. So I'm back to Team 2021 for Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, I'm forever Team Mario Kart 9 in 2021, but as we have no information on that, except some insiders saying, like, get ready for it. And I have been reading more and more scuttlebutt. It's building, my friends. Where there's smoke, there's fire. People are saying, get ready for Mario Kart 9. I am going to say, I think at this point, they're very confident over at Bloomberg that Switch Pro is launching this year. It just makes sense that Breath of the Wild 2 would also hit this year. And it falls in line with the 35th anniversary, and it just feels right. On to the poll. We did not forget again, although I almost did. I need a freaking reminder on my phone. I gotta somehow be better about this poll. Maybe tweet at me, remind me in the comments, make the poll, post the poll. Yesterday I had a crazy migraine, like the worst of my life. I don't really have that stuff. Whew, I'm lucky I even got videos done. Big day yesterday, big day today. We are busting out the content just for you because I love you. I'm shooting you with love, okay? Feels good. The big Switch poll number 39. Do you have a regular Switch or a Switch Lite? We asked the big questions, and to no surprise, 76% of you have a regular Switch. But what surprised me here was that more people have both than just the Switch Lite. Now, I don't know if that's just our audience or if it speaks to who the Switch Lite is for. Maybe the Switch Lite really is just for a younger audience, people that already have a Switch in their household, multi-kid families where each kid wants their own device and doesn't want to take over the TV. But 13%, myself included, say we have both, and 10% have just a Switch Lite. Now, you're no worse off if you have a Switch Lite. You can play everything except 1-2 Switch and Super Mario Party. You're not missing all that much. You're just fine. So both at 13% is interesting, and it speaks to Nintendo fans being wild and crazy, needing all the Joy-Con, needing all the Pro Controllers. Get your Monster Hunter Rise Pro Controller pre-order. I did. The console is sold out everywhere. It's already going for like $500 on eBay. So crazy. But if you do want a Switch Lite, if you want to join the both percentage, you can grab one, like I mentioned, at Amazon. I do like that deal, and I always like to bring you guys interesting things that I think would be beneficial and helpful. That's the whole point of this show, to help you out, make your mornings better, and just share our Nintendo love and nostalgia together. So thanks for doing it with me. Thanks for being a part of it. Smash that like button to show some love. I appreciate your support. I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy out there. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Until that time, have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. SwitchForce out.